Hi, I'm Coach Frank Dolan from Sports and Fitness Performance, and today we're going to be discussing some exercises to help with running speed, specifically acceleration. So one of the things that we do here at the facility at Sports and Fitness Performance is that when we bring an athlete in, we look at limitations. We look at what their weakest link is, what's holding them back from being able to accelerate and be as fast as they should be. A lot of times we end up looking at the hips. The hips are an area where if there is a lack of mobility or stability, it's going to significantly reduce the ability to lift their leg. Okay, and if I can't lift my leg this high, say I only lift it about this high, and I'm doing more of a shuffling type movement, or maybe I do try to go high, but I make some kind of compensation with my foot or my torso to get my knee drive this high, that's going to significantly slow me down, and it's also going to create the more chance of an injury. So these are the kinds of things we want to try to clear out first. I'm not going to show these, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet already on soft tissue work. You can look at the Trigger Point Therapy website or their channel on YouTube. They have a lot of stuff on soft tissue with the quads, and we may end up doing some other videos on soft tissue with the quads eventually, but I don't want to waste too much time on that. But a lot of times we spend opening up the hips with some soft tissue with the foam rollers or sticks or the Trigger Point ball. We'll also go through our quad hip flexor stretching, stuff like that, to just create that mobility. Once we create the mobility in our hips to have that kind of separation, then we need the stability in the down leg. So we'll do things like a straight leg glute bridge, which is going to be on your back. You don't need this fancy roller. You can use anything to elevate the foot off the ground. Toes to shins, you're going to pull one knee to chest, and I'm just going to extend through this hip to come up off the ground. So I'm using my down leg glute to try to get that last little bit of extension through here. That's going to create a better environment for me to go through that single leg stance movement. Right? So from there, what typically we would do after we create the mobility, then the stability and that extension, then we would go to something where we're trying to create more of a pattern. Okay? Just because we have the mobility and then just because we have that stability doesn't mean it's going to work on the field when we actually go into our sprint. So we'll do something with our corrective bands here. It's going to be a grip, pull, shoulder blades are down and back on that, so I'm getting activation back here. By pulling down, I'll also feel my core activate, and then when I go to single leg stance, I should feel my down leg glute. I'll show it from this side. So it's grip, pull, and lift. That extension right there and that glute activation is exactly what we need when we're going into that acceleration stance. Then from there, we'd be able to take our pattern and do something on the ground like a knee hug, where we're just going through that pattern on our own now without that assistance. If you try to put somebody through a knee hug and they look like this, they probably should be doing something more like this. If they struggle with this, they probably should be doing something more like what I was doing on the ground. If they can't do what I was doing on the ground, they need some real isolated activation work or some stretching or corrective work with the rollers. Now, after we go through our knee hugs, if someone's able to do that movement, then we would take them through our drills, our skipping type progressions, our marching type progressions, some of our resisted work with bands. We would go through that, make it more explosive. So the idea is that we create the mobility and stability, then we work on the patterning, then we work on something where it's moving slow in a warm-up sense, and then we do the explosive work and the stuff where we're resisting with sleds, with bands, and trying to improve our speed. But I don't want to just push sleds and do resisted work until I have that functional movement and things are clean. So if you have any questions on this, I know I ran through a lot of different things very fast, please just email me at coachfrankdolan@gmail.com and I'd be happy to help. Talk to you soon.